Welcome to Swipe. Here's what's in store for you this week.
The scientist at the top of UK innovation tells me how she's changed the path for women. Angela's sounding out the tech to help new artists. And Tamoor is building robots for the battlefield in our games review.
Stay with us for that and more. First, though, let's get a quick look at some of the tech news headlines worth knowing about this week.
WhatsApp is raising its minimum age limit to 16 across Europe. At the moment, users have to be at least 13 years old, but the company is bringing in stricter rules ahead of the introduction of new data privacy rules in the EU next month. Amazon has started delivering to your car boot. Although you have to be parked in a publicly accessible area in one of 37 American cities and have a certain type of car. It's made possible by using the Amazon Key app, which also allows homeowners to unlock their front doors remotely so packages can be left inside. Australia's Monash University has launched a wristband that can tell if a drink has been spiked. It's called Sip Safe and detects drugs in drinks when a wearer drops some of the liquid onto the band. And despite its recent woes, Facebook's finances appear to have been unaffected. So far, the social network reported a 63% rise in profits in the first 3 months of this year to £3.57 billion and an increase in users.
Now, women make up less than a quarter of people working in STEM, that's science, tech, engineering and maths. It's a frustrating reality, but one that many have been working hard to try and change. One of those people is Dr. Ruth McKernan. She's the scientist at the top of the UK's innovation agency. But next week, she'll be stepping down from the role. Before she does, though, she's had just enough time to chat to Swipe.
These women are innovation role models, brought together to help get more female entrepreneurs to apply for grants from the government's innovation agency. The campaign was thought up by Dr. Ruth McKernan after she discovered a shocking imbalance.
When we got the results, it was quite something. Only 14% of the applications to Innovate UK were from women. And as a senior woman, a female scientist, this didn't sound right. So then, of course, the next question is, well, why? The information we got really covered many different areas. So for some women, it was not having role models. For others, it was a confidence thing. For some, it was about raising money, and what we found was that actually women ask for less money when they start companies, which doesn't necessarily build their credibility with investors. It's better to, in some cases, ask for more money than you think you're going to need.
Ruth's push to spotlight female role models in her Women in Innovation campaign worked.
The best part about it is it took our female applications from 14% to 24%, like a 10% increase in women applying for Innovate UK grants. I think that's fantastic.
Do you think the tech industry is sexist, or do you think it's a simple case of males prefer STEM subjects to females?
I don't even agree with that, actually. So I'm a neuroscientist by training. I really like solving problems. I really like design. I like to create things. That is actually part of what people would think of as engineering or technology. So some of the skills that women naturally bring to bear are exactly the skills that the industries of the future are going to need. I think women are the integrators in the world. They're the peacemakers. We're the people who help pull teams together. If you're trying to create a team, you want a diverse team. If you don't have a good number of women on your team, you won't have diversity, you won't get the best results, and you won't get economically good businesses.
After 3 years at the top of Innovate UK, Ruth is just days away from stepping down. The government describes her as a champion for diversity within innovation. So what advice does she have for the new generation of women entrepreneurs?
Just do what you really care about. So when I was maybe 13 or 14, I had two choices. I was either going to be a scientist like my dad, or I was going to be an air hostess, because I really liked the idea of travelling. In the end, I followed my passion, which was science, and that meant I could travel all over the world. And so my advice would be, follow your passion, be the best that you can be in who you are and what you care about, because from that, other things will follow. Don't fight the battles about whether this is the right job for a woman or not the right job for a woman. Do what you really care about. That's how you'll be successful.
We're talking music now, because fair payments to artists, chasing the backing of a record label and keeping fans engaged are just some of the struggles faced by musicians. So what solutions and innovations are there to make things easier? Angela has been in Dublin to find out.
Something feels so right in this hormone life.
The music industry invests billions of pounds each year to seek out new talent, but many are left behind. One startup thinks they can solve that. Here's Anderson, makers of a digital artist and repertoire app. It uses predictive analytics and artificial intelligence to connect unsigned acts directly to industry executives. It means if a label is setting out to find someone who sounds like Taylor Swift, its algorithm will detect those who actually do.
In Ireland, if you were to go on one of these, every artist under the sun tags themselves as Hosier.
It's the Hosier problem.
Right. I guarantee you, 99% of them don't sound like Hosier. What we do is tag it based on this audio AI. So there's sort of no escaping what you sound like.
Once signed, the challenge for labels is keeping fans engaged, so they're looking for new ideas. We spoke to Wolf 3D. They want to make concert experiences more immersive by letting fans create their own 3D avatars of their friends, for example, via an app available in virtual and augmented reality.
The goal is to bring real people into virtual spaces, so it can be a game. You can play games with your own character, or it can be a VR concert in the music industry, for example, going to a concert with your friends and all using your own avatar, so have a real friends in there with you.
A challenge both labels and artists face is unauthorised music streaming, so they don't miss out on getting paid. Valario showed us its smart speaker, a device which lets you tip an artist when you hear a song you like, giving them more money in addition to royalties. It's powered by blockchain technology with payments in digital currency crypto.
The blockchain technology means more transparency, so that is both useful for musicians in the sense that the right people are benefiting financially from music streaming and immediately as well.
Mixed, augmented and virtual reality, blockchain, artificial intelligence and new live immersive experiences are all changing the music industry landscape and how we encounter it. But is this technology changing the music industry for the better or worse?
Music streaming service Deezer are no strangers to the challenges the industry faces and continue to look for ways to convert people from consuming free music to paying for it.
That comes down to several things. First of all, quality of service, quality of sound, the ability to find tracks, store them and also share them. But it also comes down to the whole user experience of experiencing music in high sound quality and on cross-device.
Whether new technologies can cure the industry's ills remains to be seen, but many of those making music hope it will help them make the money that keeps their careers going. Angela Barnes, Sky News.
Video games time now, and this week it's Tamoor's turn in the Swipe Game studio. Here he is with 3 of the latest releases.
First up this week we have Don't Starve for the Switch, which is a brutal and punishing survival game where you're foraging for resources and fighting enemies. You play a tiny little terrified character in a Tim Burton inspired world. All you've got to do is spend your days finding resources and crafting what you need to survive, and at night holding the darkness at bay and holding on to your mental sanity. It's a very difficult game. You will die a lot, but that's part of the point. On Nintendo Switch, it lets you pick up and play whenever you want and take it at your own pace. This means the stresses of dying over and over again are lessened. All you've got to do is turn it on, spend a little time grabbing some resources, building a fire, getting some food, finding some water, and then come back later on to take on the night where you fight some enemies and do some more exploring. Don't Starve is a simple, really satisfying game, and it's even better on the Switch.
What has become of this city? There used to be laws. crime is out of control. Cats are missing.
South Park has already been released for the PC, Xbox One and PS4, but now it's finally arrived on the Switch. This time around, instead of poking fun at Dungeons and Dragons, it's having a laugh at the expense of the superhero movie genre, most notably the Avengers. You play as a new kid and arrive in town to inevitably get embroiled in one of Cartman's get-rich-quick schemes again. This time around, it's all about superheroes, so as a new kid you get to craft your own character and pick what superhero powers you want to use and take into battle. It's turn-based gameplay, which means you've got the time to dip in and out as you please, and on the Switch, that's perfect if you're traveling. On top of all the battling and questing, you'll get the time to explore South Park itself, and inevitably you'll run into the various quirky characters that you find in the town. South Park is a quirky role-playing game which will poke fun at all your favourite superheroes. You can play on the go, which means it's easy to dip in and out of, and perfect for the Switch again. Robocraft Infinity is a quirky and fun PC and Xbox One game that I know you'll love. It leans on something that everyone enjoys, building and battling. Growing up, everyone builds stuff, whether that's with Legos or bits and pieces just around the house. And in this game, it gives you blocks and asks you to build pretty much anything you want to take into battle. That could be a car, a boat, a plane, or a Tyrannosaurus Rex that fires laser beams from its eyes. All you've got to do is put the blocks in places and then customize it, add any movement styles you want and weapons, and then take it online to battle. If you don't feel like building, you can use the factory to download other people's creations and customize them or take them into battle as is. Robocraft Infinity is great because it draws upon the innate joy we get from building stuff, except this time you get to destroy it too on the internet.
Well, that's it for this week's show. Don't forget to join us again for more Swipe next week, and in the meantime, why not follow us on Twitter @Sky News Swipe, then you can see what we get up to throughout the week. Bye-bye.